Just a minute. Okay, I would like to invite to dear Prof. Dr. Abner Pajaziti. Okay, dear Abner, if
Thank
you
you
are
very
ready,
much.
please start. Okay.
Thank you very much, and thank you for invitation on the spring panel in Incohis 2023. As you know, I am Abner Pajaziti, coming from University of Pristina, Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, Head of Department of Mechatronics. Today, I'm going to present research titled TensorFlow Frit Classification using the robotic system. The purpose of this research is to facilitate the work of industries that deal with the classification of different types of products, specifically in our case from the fruit and vegetable industry using artificial intelligence. The most important part of this work was the processing of images for fruit identification and classification as well. For the classification to be as accurate as possible, it was necessary to use more samples of different types of fruits. To achieve the desired result, a total of 350 samples were needed. Where to reach the number of these samples, we photographed several types of fruits at different angles. The TensorFlow is used as a platform to teach machines to adapt our samples to the language that the robotic system understands. So here is given the content of the paper or presentation. So first we start with introduction. Afterwards we continue with materials and methods, artificial intelligence and machine learning, robotic arms and robot magician, Python programming language and OpenCV platform. Some results we have to discuss at the end, and also the conclusion and the future work. We know that industrial automation reduces operating expenses by eliminating the cost of healthcare, paid leave, and vacation that comes from excluding a human operator. Furthermore, additional employee advantages such as bonuses, pension coverage, and so on are reduced with industrial automation. Above all, despite the high initial cost, it saves the monthly wages of workers by drastically reducing the number, resulting in significant cost saving for the company. In industrial automation, the used machines have lower maintenance costs as they are less probable to fail. Only computer and maintenance engineers are authorized to repair if it's failed. Only computer and maintenance engineers are required to repair also. Industrial automation is gaining appeal in a range of industries due to its many advantages, including increasing productivity, quality, and safety at a cheap cost. Automated lines...
Sorry,
yes?
Sorry, dear Abner, your presentation is not moved, okay? Your presentation is not moved.
So please, now, is it moving?
Now, first
it's
slide.
Not moving.
Is it moving now?
No.
Let me try to solve this issue.
Okay. Now.
Stop sharing. Open share pay. Yeah.
Again. Yes. Again.
Just stop. Now.
Share, please.
Can you see?
Okay. Now, fifth slide. Okay.
Now, is it changing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, we are talking about the materials and methods. You know that artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning are all words that are sometimes used mutually. Along each is a sub-branch of the field. In short, the AI is the attempt to automate intellectual activity performed by people under normal conditions. In robotics, AI is widely used. Localization is the process through which a robot determines its location and builds the surrounding area around it. Robots can learn how to act effectively, not harming the environment. They work in based of information they get from sensors and cameras. Now, we used here in this project the Dobot Magician as a system robotic arm, and we showed off its skills to carry out a variety of duties like object identification and sorting. Some words about Dobot Magician. Dobot Magician is a multifunctional robotic arm that can be used on a desktop for hands-on education. It is manufactured to be able to cooperate with various additional devices. This robot can perform interesting functions such as 3D printing, laser cutting, vacuum swallowing, gripper grasping, block programmed, and mouse-oriented writing and drawing. When we talk about the software of the Dobot Magician control, it provides a user interface very easily understandable. With the teaching and playback function being presented as the first icon in this interface, it serves to teach the robot the process that will perform by processing the button found in Dobot and oriented it in coordinates that will be executed later. Here is given one picture, the old system parts, including the Dobot Magician camera, further that's ultrasonic sensor and conveyor, and also the object that has to be identified. So this robot has the vision set that is configured in the Dobot system by creating research and simulating the artificial intelligence algorithms. Through Dobot and its additional equipment, all the real manufacturing robot application can be activated. Due to the problem to complete the goal by processing images from the web camera, it was necessary to use the DLL software files to run the code for processing images by giving commands to Dobot and receiving inputs from it. Python is an extensively used interpreted object-oriented high-level programming language with dynamic semantics used for general-purpose programming. Many scientists have abandoned expensive application and switched to Python. OpenCV, that is the acronym of Open Source Computer Vision Library, is an open source computer vision and machine learning software library. OpenCV provides a common infrastructure for computer vision applications to accelerate the use of machine perception in commercial products. There are about 2,500 optimized algorithms in the library, which includes a complete set of classic and modern computer vision and ML algorithms. These algorithms can be used to detect and recognize faces, identify and classify threats in our case. TensorFlow is an end-to-end open source platform for building ML applications. It permits builders to create ML programs through the usage of various equipments, libraries, and community assets. When we go further, TensorBoard is a significant feature of TensorFlow. It enables visual and graphical monitoring of what TensorFlow is doing. Anaconda is also part of the TensorFlow, is the distribution of the Python programming language and serves for scientific computing intended to simplify package management and deployment. Also, Label IMG is an open source program for visual image labeling. It is developed in Python and has a graphical user interface built with QuickTime. It is a quick and effortless way to identify several hundred images for your next object identification object. Now, when we take our example, we are taking about 350 images of different threads in different positions. We classify them into two folders, train and test. In the train folder, we put 80% of images, and in test, we put the remaining 20%. So here are some libraries that we already used. I'm not gonna show you in details. Here we have a folder with 350 images of the Fritz that have to be identified later on from cameras. The results, experiments. To carry out the process of identification and classification of Fritz, the following steps we underwent. First, the selection of Fritz that we thought to classify was made by considering their shape, the possibility to move on the double conveyor, and their weight. Second, the image of the selected Fritz were taken, images which were taken at every angle of the Fritz so that the accuracy is as high as possible. Those Fritz will later be classified separately depending on which type they belong to. Third, the generated images are trained, the steps of which are explained in the used code, which serves as samples for the software that will do the classification. In this case, the classification software is ready to classify the Fritz that have been considered. The moment the sensor signals the presence of Fritz, the sliding belt stops moving. Being aware of the shortcomings that the software may have, and to achieve the most accurate results, the same Fritz is detected up to 5 times. From figures, it can be seen how the same Fritz can vary in accuracy depending on the image captured by the camera. So we see here 3 Fritz. This is a lemon, apple, and mandarin with different percentages. After the 5-fold detection is done, the last data is taken to classify the Fritz. So it means that from the 5th time as the final result. After this step, the robot is given the command to grab the detected Fritz. Based on the data obtained from the classification, the Fritz that the robot has picked up is placed in the coordinates defined for the type of the Fritz. With the implementation of the given coordinates, the end of the Fritz classification process is reached. In this case, the robot returns to its 0 point and the sliding belt starts moving, repeating the whole process for the classification of the next Fritz. If the object to be detected is not one of the selected Fritz, the sliding belt continues to move, letting it know that there are no coordinates for this type of object, and that Fritz moves off the conveyor without being picked up by the depot. I have here a record movie. I'm not. Let me see. Can you see the movie, please?
Yes, but your slide is not moving.
In my computer, it is already,
Yes.
running.
Yes. I see.
So here, maybe I will describe. There is a conveyor running, and when the certain Fritz reaches, the position when the sensor detected, camera just grabbed the pictures 5 times, and the robot is ready to pick up and put into the basket and to divide. Let's say the basket of the lemon different from apple, from pear, or from mandarin. So it is not moving. You cannot see.
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So let maybe after few seconds it will stop. So the classification is done by the usage of TensorFlow. This is the artificial algorithm, intelligence algorithm. You see, this is an educational, project, but the same can be also applied to the industry. Now it's done. Conclusion and future work. With this research, the primary goal was fulfilled, which was to develop an automated line for the identification and classification of fruits and vegetables using artificial intelligence. Using the robotic system and the software presented in this research, with the help of TensorFlow, fruit classification can be achieved with higher accuracy and quantity that would be achieved if the process is carried out manually. The robotic system could be advanced by adding other robots which are dedicated to a certain work process. Robots can be added for the transport of fruit packages, which will be sorted, robots that pack the fruits after sorting, and robots for the transport. The robotic system can also make advances in classification, classifying a fruit according to the different size it can have, its weight, as well its shape. But why not get rid of fruits that are defective or not ripe enough? With all these advancements, one can have a complete production line not only for the agricultural industry but also for other industries in which product classification could take place. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, dear Abner. Thank you for your valuable information about TensorFlow and Python and machine learning. Thank you again. Okay.
You are welcome.
I'd like invite to. I'd like invite to. Okay, dear Edmund Hoca from Albania. Dear Edmund, are you ready?
Do you hear me, Professor?
Dear Edmund, are you ready?
Yes, do you hear me?
Can you share your presentation? Yes, okay. Can you share your presentation?
Yes,
Dear Abner, please close your microphone.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Do you hear me? Professor, do you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you.
I hear.
Okay. Okay, moment. I will share.
Please close your share. Yes, yes, yes. Dear Abner, please close your share and your presentation. Okay. Now ready to.
Do you see my presentation? Do you see my presentation?
Can you share?
Yes, I did it. Can you see?
Yes, now it's okay.
Yes, I can hear, but your picture presentation is not here. Can you share, please?
I did it.
No.
We can see,
No.
Mustafa. Land degradation because of mining
my
activity in
PC
Albania.
Yes, that's right,
No.
Flora. Thank you.
How are you, my dear friend?
Fine, fine. How are you?
Please again.
Yes, fine, thank you.
Share.
Okay, I will stop and do it again. Now?
Okay. Now, okay. Okay, I can see.
Okay, can I continue?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
Okay, so
Okay.
thank you very much, Professor, for the invitation. I wish.
Okay, dear admin, please present.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor, for the invitation for the Congress. I wish success. My topic is land degradation because of mining activity in Albania.
Can go.
Yeah. So my topic is land degradation because of mining.
Admin, please explain. Please Please, Diretne, please explain about you. About a bit you.
Do you hear me?
Okay.
So I'm giving you a short information about the Albania land cover. The country has a total territory around 20,000 kilometers square, from which 24% is agriculture land, 36% forest, 16% pastures and meadows, and the remaining 24% is classified as others, which includes urban area, lakes, and waterways, and unused rockland. The soils of Albania are varied and create special zones according to the climate, flora, relief, etc. Are my slides moving?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So about the mining activity, short information about this process. Mining activity consists on mineral exploitation passing 4 stages: exploration, opening and preparation, exploitation, and closure. The number 3 is the most dangerous for the environment. And 2 main problems encountered inside the mining area are mineral exploitation and environmental transformation.
Yes.
As you can see in 4 pictures, the first one is on the left is exploration and opening the preparation, and 2 last is exploitation and closure. Short view about the damages of mining activities in environment. The most damages activities impact on air quality, biodiversity, deforestation, endangered species, land degradation, water pollution, waste depositing, microorganism, and acoustic pollution. I will be concentrated in other slide in land degradation. If you see the map on the right, it looks that all Albania is affected from the mining activities, starting from north to Shkodra, Kukës, Lezhë, Dibër, Durrës, Tirana, Elbasan, Fier, until the south of Albania, Gjirokastra, and Vlora. Open cast mining is one of the biggest factors in land degradation, because after extraction, the original landform is changed forever and original vegetation cover is destroyed. The visual impact of the open cast minings may extend over large areas, reducing the aesthetic appeal to the landscape. The most negative impacts in the degradation of the lands are creation of the lakes, damages to pastures and vegetation, damages to flora and fauna, sinkholes creation, land subsidence, and erosion. Creation of the lakes is one of the most singular change which occur in active and more frequently in abandoned mines. Even in Albania, there are many open cast, which formed big gaps. We still do not have any lake because of the mining. But just to give you an idea how it is created, on the right side, you have a photo which doesn't belong to Albania, but is a Milada Lake in Czech Republic. You can see all this big bag, these big gaps from the mining, is now transformed in a lake. In Albania, we have a very small one in Bolchiza mining, which I show you later. Damages to pastures and vegetation. Because of the massive outbreaks and explosion, the pasture had also been severely damaged. The dust produced in open cast contain metal or sulfides, which change the growth condition of vegetation and raise the metal concentration of them. Dust is the main cause of vegetation breakdown in area around the mining. One bad example from Albania is the village of Mamas in Incohis region. Due to the works of the mining companies there, irrigation works, roads, houses, and the crops were damaged by the mining activity. Meanwhile, as a result of the poisoning coming to the surface, their cattle have died or they have been sterilized and do not reproduce anymore. This fact has led to a decline in the reproductive level of cows due to the emergency of nickel silicates that they are near cattle pastures. It is for this reason that the inhabitants have been forced to close the cattle inside or send them as far as possible from the mining for pastures. As a result of the mining activity, the residents cannot use the mountain to graze their cattle, and the extraction of iron nickel on the surface has become a serious health hazard for the residents of the village. Damages to flora and fauna. A large number of plants have been destroyed by excavation and deposit of deposit soil. While due to the noise, massive outbreaks, water and air pollution, many animals have left the area, bringing the impoverishment of the fauna and flora of the area. Observation in the Reova copper mine show that even after more than 20 years after mining interruption, many animals and birds have not returned in this region. As you see in the photos on the left down, all these animals and birds have been in this region, but now very few of them are coming back. And on the photo on the right, you can see how the nature is there now only with rocks, deserts, metallics, old equipment, etc. Sinkholes. There are many sinkholes in the mining of Albania. One interesting case is the case of the sinkholes in the Reova copper mine. Periodically measurement and the photos made by drone show the increasing of the dimension of the hole created by the land subsidence. On the first photo, which is taken in 2004, you see that the sinkholes just started. And after 19 years, you see how big, how deeper the sinkhole is going down. The photo is made by drone just 1 month ago. Land subsidence. There are many cases of the land subsidence because of the mining in Albania. The most interesting case is Burqiza chromite mine and the highway Tirana-Durrës because of the Valias coal mine. The photo shows the Burqiza mine, where because of the undergrounding mine is going deeper and deeper, it has bring high lapse accident in surface. The operation mine is conducted to deep level, so the part of the old city of Burqiza town has been affected by serious land subsidence. Especially, there are some buildings in the city, the elementary school, clinical building, etc. Highway Tirana-Durrës because of the coal mine in Mazes. The ground movements are observed near the main wells and the ventilation well. In some very special parts of the highway, you can feel the subsidence of the land when you go in high speed with a car, because there is a curve created there because of the subsidence. Erosion. Soil erosion affects farming, construction projects, and homeowners living near rivers, seas, and on terrestrial slopes. The rate of soil erosion in Albania have increased after 1990 because of the dramatic change of land use, uncontrolled and illegal deforestation, climate change, and overgrazing pastoral land. Natural level of erosion are high in Albania because of the steep slopes 27% average, high rates of the rainfall, 1,500 millimeters average yearly, and a highly erodible soils, low levels of organic matters, and high level of slate and clay. Mine opening, the new ways to reach the new galleries and opening up new chromic carriers has led to the removal of the upper productive layer soils. And as a result, soil deforestation and stripping of the soil surface has occurred, causing the phenomenon of erosion and the total soil degradation to appear massively. Improper disposal of the materials to the storage squares around the mines and the galleries has led to the creation of mountains with minerals and galleries, stocks and sterile waste that have caused soil contamination and degradation and damage to the visual natural landscape. The first photo shows the Burchiza mine when you see it's around it with stocks of minerals and steriles, and the second one shows the Rahova copper mine where the land degradation is more visible. Something about the land degradation and neutrality in Albania. Land degradation due to natural and human factors is an active phenomenon in Albania since many years and now. Geographic location, climate conditions, relief, high levels of land exposure against threats hold an essential role in setting Albania targets and strategies toward national land degradation neutrality. Albania is among the countries that have committed to set a national voluntary LDN target, establish an LDN baselines, and formulate associate measures. As you can see on the right, the concept of the land neutrality against degradation include prevent, reduce, and reverse. And down, you see the cooperation between governmental institutions, private companies, academic institutions, and land user to make these LDN targets. The main drivers of soil contamination in Albania and the area affected, you can see the table. The first one is the mineral industry, and the area affected are Croia, Leja, Tirana, and Vasani. Production and processing metals, where the metal of products of oil and steel is in the first place, oil extraction and processing industry and energy, waste management, wastewater management, and agriculture practice. What are very shortly the Albanian targets about the land degradation neutrality? The first one is to make national LDN baselines, and the second one is to develop and to make some measure to be achieved in 2030. Possible measures are improved productivity and stocks in croplands, rehabilitate of degraded and abandoned land, rehabilitate of degraded forest and increase green land cover, reduce the rate of soil erosion, and there are some agronomic measures, vegetative measures, structural measures, and management measures. As a conclusion, because I don't want to take too much your time, the first one is that the land degradation because of the mining activity in Albania is very highly presented. The situation requires emergency measures for stopping the further degradation, especially the erosion. The legislation for the environment protection must be strictly implemented. The government has to stop renewing the existing mining licensing, especially for the open cast mine, before this company make full rehabilitation of the damaged areas. The new digital technology in monitoring and environment protection must be included in a larger scale, especially in dam waste, stockpiles, and land subsidence areas. And lastly, the full, updated, and transparent national open source database for the all mining activities, in particular for the hotspots in environmental issue, is urgently necessarily needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have any question? I'm ready. Do you hear me? I don't hear you.
Yes, Professor Edmond, we can hear you.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Professor.
Do you have any question, or I can close my presentation?
So I think Dr. Mustafa is not here. So,
Mustafa, where are you?
so if there is no question, then we can go to the next presentation.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Edmond, for your very nice lecture. So as per the schedule, I think Dr. Flora has the next presentation. Professor Flora, you have to unmute yourself.
Yes, sorry. Can I present?
Yes. I think Dr. Mustafa would have been here if you, but we can go ahead. I think because the time is also, we are running short of time also. Yes, Professor, you start.
Yes, but I'm not sharing. This stuff. No. I can't find my presentation here. Open share, try. I can't.
So shall we go to Professor Ludmila then, in case, because the next presentation.
I don't know why my
Professore, do ta kesh kur shtypa do butoni share try, do ta kesh poshtë del direkt.
Oppo
Okay, can you hear me? Sorry, I have my network problem. Okay, can you hear me? All up okay?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Yes,
Can
all
hear
okay.
you.
Okay. Sorry again. Dear Flora, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready, but I can't share my presentation. I don't know why.
Okay, please share your presentation.
Yes, but I can't. My desktop.
Put
Can-
at desktop. Put your
can-
presentation at desktop.
Dear
I
admin,
have in the desktop.
dear admin, can you stop your sharing?
Yes, I have stopped already.
Okay. Please check, Flora.
Yes, I want to present, but I can't. I don't know why.
Laura, send the presentation to Professor Mustafa and he can share.
Yes, but he can share, but I want to change my.
Dr. Mustafa, in case we can go to the next presentation.
Just a minute.
Just a minute.
Oh,
Let's try
session,
again. No, it's impossible.
Sorry.
I don't know why.
Can you see present button? Can you see share button? Share.
Yes, I see. I click on it, but my desktop is not open.
Okay. Ludmila, can you see share button? Please try.
Do you want me to start my presentation? Okay,
Yes.
I will try. Okay, I will try.
Please share.
Okay.
Share.
Just a moment. Is my presentation visible?
No.
No.
Yes, now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Here.
Yes, now it's good.
Okay, Flora, I am
Oh.
sorry. Order is Ludmila. Okay.
Yes, no
Okay.
problem. But
Okay, Ludmila, go on, please.
what to do
What's-
after?
I would like invite to Ludmila from Portugal. Please, Ludmila, explain about a bit of the sentence you. Okay.
Okay.
Go on, please.
First of all, I am glad to see all you here, and it's very pleasant because we met here not the first time. I mean that some colleagues, yes, we met before on this event. And I thank you very much for the invitation. I think it's a great possibility to share the results of our research. Nowadays I'm working at University of Coimbra, and I will present topic environmental resistance and climate changes. Of course, that environmental resistance impacted by changing environment. And for example, previous presentation, Professor Edmond Hodja, how he explained how, for example, mining impact on environment. Of course, it's also have huge such kind of impacts on environmental resistance. What presents environmental resistance? Environmental resistance, it's a combination of soil resistance, water resistance, and air resistance. Actually, it's a community of antibiotic-resistant microorganisms. And nowadays, it's a huge problem spreading of antibiotic resistance and formation of environmental resistance at different levels. And today I would like to talk a little bit how actually climate can impact on environmental resistance. As an example, as a case study, we will consider soil resistance. So in our study, we tried to analyze soil resistance in different type of ecosystem, in urban ecosystem and also in natural ecosystems. And in our case, we analyzed primeval forest. Because in this case, we can use those ecosystems for monitoring, and actually in this case we can estimate directly impact of climate changes. And monitoring was carrying out during 10 years, and during this period temperature changed more than on 1 degree, so temperature increased. And of course, in our opinion, this is the main factor that impacted on soil resistance. As I told before, we monitored microbiological properties other period of 10 years. And those work was realized in frame of 2 projects, ecological and microbiological monitoring of different types of ecosystems in Carpathian region, and also biomonitoring of terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem in conditions of climate change. As I told, we used different model ecosystems, and today I will present results that we got during investigation of natural ecosystems. So we determined some biological properties of soil, also microbiological properties, and of course we determined also soil resistance. Here you can see characteristics of those natural ecosystems where we conducted soil sampling. So we had different control points at different altitude. And in this table, you can see results of emission of carbon dioxide from the soil in natural ecosystems. So carbon dioxide.
Sorry, we don't see your slide.
You don't see?
We see only the first slide.
Your slide is not moving, Ludmila.
Just a moment, I will try.
Please play again. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yes, now.
Now 6
Now
slides
okay.
is in picture. Yes.
Okay. I apologize. Today some technical problems for everyone. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. All of same.
Okay. Just a moment.
Go on, please.
Yes, so now it's visible, yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, and during 10 years, the emission of carbon dioxide changing significantly. So results of our research have shown that the intensity of carbon dioxide emission from the soil forest ecosystem after the last 10 years increased by 30%. And also during this period, changed structure of soil microbial communities. For example, in 2010, we can see that a number of oligotrophs, pedotrophs, they're less if in 2020. So during those 10 years, increased number of oligotrophs, pedotrophs, and decreased at the same time number of bacteria that can fix nitrogen from the atmosphere, and also numbers of modifiers. So it indicates about changing in soil microbial community. And we also tried to identify some hotspots for every group of microorganisms. So this work we did together with Professor Edmond, and already we published such those investigations. And it was very interesting because during this period, at certain altitudes, we determined some points where the fixed rebuilding of soil microbiome at altitude 500 meters, 800 meters, and 1000 meters. Also, in this study, we determined phytotoxical activity of soil in virgin beech forests. And phytotoxical activity during those 10 years also increased approximately on 22%, but except that increased percentage of phytotoxical activity, also increased number of phytotoxical microorganisms. So structure changed, and the changed number of microorganisms that can produce phytotoxical metabolites in the soil. And as I told in beginning that
slides are not moving again. We don't see. We see only 6. Number 6. We didn't saw nothing.
Yeah, 6 slides freeze it.
I don't know what is happening. Now it's visible.
Go to number 8. Go to number 8.
Okay. Now it's visible.
I think Ludmila likes. I think Ludmila likes a 6 number.
Still 6 numbers. I don't know why.
Yes, 10 slides. Okay.
Go to slide number 8 so we can see.
Okay, and the World Health Organization, I apologize, now slide number 10, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Yes, maybe I will little bit come back to this slide when I told about determining of hotspots in soil microbiome. So we determined such hotspots for different ecological trophic groups of soil microorganisms. As I told, it was very interesting because we can analyze successional process during this period. So how changed soil microbiome at different altitude and how changed functional structure of soil microbiome. So it's very important. And as I told in beginning, the World Health Organization identified antibiotic resistance as a serious threat for human health across the world, but not only for human health, also for environmental health. And actually, that is why was formed such conception like conception one health. Yes, that human health, animal health, and environment health are interconnected. And due to this conception, it's very important to consider this environmental resistance. So what is the main factor could be in spreading of this antibiotic resistance and formation of soil resistance? Of course, first of all, it's a human impact, pollution and so on. But also our results showed that changes in environments, for example, such as climate changes. In our case, we analyzed the changes of temperature. Also, those changes have had an impact on soil microbiome and also soil resistance. In this table, you can see that in 2010, generally we isolated 18 strains and 4 of them characterized high level of multi-drug resistance. And in 2020, numbers of antibiotic-resistant bacteria increased. And it's very interesting fact that before I told that we tried to determine hotspots in soil resistance and soil microbiome. And numbers of antibiotic-resistant bacteria were higher in those hotspots. But generally, we can see that number of antibiotic-resistant bacteria increased. So we can tell that changes of temperature, in our case, increasing temperature, has impact on formation of soil resistance. Because actually, contain of antibiotic-resistant bacteria increased in 3 times. And also, next question, what we tried, next aspect, what we tried to analyze, if microbial biodiversity of soil loses due climate changes. And as I told before, we recorded that during this period, functional structure of soil microbiome and also soil resistance changed. But except that during those 10 years, fluctuation of microbial diversity at different altitudes was the same, generally, if you will analyze fluctuation. But it should be noted that in 2010, the Shannon index fluctuated within 4.5 to 2.10, and after 10 years, those index decreased in average of 15%. So what briefly conclusion we can make according to this data? That soil microbial communities extremely diverse, and one of the greatest challenges concerns understanding how microbial diversity responds to climate change and the functional consequences of those for ecosystem carbon exchange. That is why, as I told before, we try to monitor emission of carbon dioxide from the soil. And intensity of carbon dioxide emission from the soil of forest ecosystem for the 10 years increased by 30%. The results of our monitoring studies shown that climate changes is one of the factors in the formation of the soil rhizostome and the spread of antibiotic microorganisms in forest ecosystems. So the most interesting aspect in this study was that we analyzed natural ecosystems, and even in natural ecosystem, those indirect human impact caused changes in soil microbiome and soil rhizostome. And also on the basis of those study, we can say that climate change is leading to the loss of soil microbial diversity. So I thank you very much for your attention, and if you have questions, it will be my pleasure to answer. And sorry for technical problems.
Yes, not a problem, Olaf. Okay, thank you very much for valuable informations, especially Ludmila explained about environmental resource system and climate changes. Okay.
Dr. Mustafa, can I have one very small question? One very small question. Just
question section last of present. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Now order is will be now order is here, dear Isma, but Atlava wants to time. If you permit, Atlava will start. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Atlava, are you ready?
Yes. Yes, I will share now my presentation.
Okay. Close your share, Ludmila, and open your share, dear Atlava, and explain about us.
Yes, just a moment to share my
Dear
presentation.
Atlava, please don't forget explain about just sentence about you. Dear Atlava, I would like to invite to Atlava from Albania. Okay.
No. It's open. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm sorry, I have a problem with the camera, so I cannot open it, but you can see the presentation?
Yes.
No. I am Edliva Dashi, and I'm lecturer at Agriculture University of Tirana. I am a lecturer of rural development near the Faculty of Economy and Agribusiness and Department of Economies and Rural Development Policies. Today, I would like to present something about challenges and opportunities for rural development, and the title of my paper, it is Smart Tourism as a New Opportunity for Agritourism in Albania. And I'll show some new internet applications that are made recently to support the agri-tourism issues. So the technology is really important as well to support the agri-tourism initiatives. I'm going to be so very quick, just in some minutes to respect and the time and for the others. So the purpose of this study is through a descriptive analysis will present a contribution of NGO Visit Girocastra Association and supporting tourist businesses using smart tourism tools. First, we have to say that the tourism in Albania is one of the potential pillars of economic development, offering real opportunities on GDP and employment growth. And discussing on this, we have to say that the characteristics of tourism in Albania are related with accommodation, tourism, and in all activities, all the discussions that are made about the culture, and as well all the tourism related with tourism issues. And we have to say that we have a lot of elements that are related with agritourism in Albania. So we have, and tourism in general, we have four main characteristics for tourism in Albania, which is beach tourism, mountain tourism, nature tourism, and culture tourism. And we have to say the data that are important is as well priority for the Albanian economy, and the contribution it is compared with 14% to all the GDP. As well, the employees in this sector reached about 100,000 people. And now, during the last year, we are predicting to have as well a lot of employed persons coming from other countries to support all the fluctuations of the tourism in Albania. And as we have to say that tourism, it is really important, since we have a high rate of the employment, affect all the trades opportunity, and the development of all the country is really important for Albania. And these are all the economic profits for the tourism development in Albania. We have to say that the zone which it was taken in analyze, it was the Gjirokastra region, which it is situated in the south of Albania, near the Greece, and it is a culture heritage in Albania. There are a lot of cultural monuments, natural monuments, and we have as well their protected areas and natural parks. And as well in this area now, it is as well the Vjosa River, which it is one of the lastest natural rivers in the Europe. And but which are the principles of the smart tourism that are enhancing tourism experiences, improve the efficiency and the resource management, and for them important is to maximize destination competitiveness with all the emphasis toward the sustainable aspects. And the smart tourism concepts is related with three dimensions, which are important in all the not only in the Albania but as well in the other areas. We have to say that the smart tourism focus on physical infrastructure, social networks, governance sources, and all the advanced technologies. And a complete smart tourism destination is an economy which it includes smart tourists, smart presidents, smart sustainability, smart governance, and smart mobility. And all it is a circle that it turns in all the levels. And this, it is really important to understand that the smart tourism is a circle that all the actors need to invest on it. But which is Visit Gjirokastra Association and how they are creating in all the destinations. And Visit Girocastra has 5 years that it is created, and it is became a travel for place and slow travels to enjoy all the authentic Albanian experiences and stories based in our tradition, natural, and all the history benefiting from communities in both urban and rural areas. We have to say that it is an application, internet application, and if you click in all the Google Motors, you can find, if you click Visit Girocastra, you can find all this application, and you can see there all the destinations that are related with with agritourism in Girocastra, but not only with agritourism, but all the tourism experiences in the area. And continuing from this experience, Visit Girocastra, they were made several motors of research to find the tourist destinations in Albania. For example, we have Visit Tirana or other destinations that are important for promoting touristic activities. And so if we have all this organization support, we have 100 new experiences for artisans, and then we have in this package there are described all the individual packages for how they can make tours in areas, and as well there are remarked tours in rural areas, trainings, courses in digital marketing, and participation in international exhibitions. So you can see here there are some photos that and some of the promoters there. There are so we have the one of the tours. It is made with to visit Girocastra city. Another, it is the ride to as friendship. Another tour. Then there in this tour there tour with horses and riding. They are making the experiences of riding with following the old roads of the Albanian army. And as well, rafting in Vjosa River, it is important, and as well one of the tours in the mountain and protected areas that there it is written. It is one of the most important protected areas that is called Brediotovas. But there are as well experiences that you can remark there, and you can go and see how we can prepare a Turkish coffee, for example, or wood crafting, and all the visitors can go there and can prepare by themselves something in wood. For example, their name or a flower or something simple, and they can take their first some elementary lessons about the wood crafting. But as well, they are other experiences, brandy tasting experience and tasting the raki, one of the most traditional products, but as well taking a walk in the canyons of Nivica. So Visit Girocastra, it is it's the official page of tourism of Girocastra, and it is part, and it is important to understand how a simple NGO has supported and make all these differences to see the Girocastra promotion of tourism. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, dear Attava. I wonder if where is Girocastra, and I want to more to visit Girocastra. Yes.
Girocastra,
Pronounce
yes.
is good. Girocastra. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you again.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Flora, are you there?
Let's
Flora?
try. I don't know.
Okay, please share, please share, or try to share. If your problem is here, and order.
Can I send you by email?
Email?
Yes, I can't open. I can't open. I don't know why.
Okay, Flora, please send me your presentation to
Yes,
my.
I have it ready. Just send. Just a moment.
Okay.
Okay, send it.
I wrote my mail.
I sent it.
Just a minute. Okay, Flora Merkel. Okay, Flora, I can share your presentation. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Can you see presentation?
Not yet.
Now my screen is on your time.
Yes, now
okay.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
Now it's okay. Thank you.
Please say Flora me order. Understand? Slide order.
Yes, yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Please go on.
My presentation is, today is related with relationships between GDP growth, energy consumption, renewable energy production, and CO2 emissions in some of European transition economies. We have not taken all the countries that are in transition phase because no data for all of them we had. Can you change, please?
Okay.
Change, Mustafa.
Now okay.
No, it's not changed. We are focusing in this presentation in the correlation between economic growth and pollution. And the aim of this paper, of this presentation, is to investigate the existence of the dynamic causality between economic growth, yes, energy consumption, pollution, and renewable energy. For achieving the objective of this, we have done two hypotheses. The first one is energy consumption generate or the relationship, positive relationship between energy and economic growth. That means that if energy consumption is higher, is greater, and the economic growth will be in a positive one. The second one is the increase in energy consumption would increase CO2 emissions and increase environmental pollution. Because if you produce more, of course, you will pollute more the ambient. To achieve our objectives, we have used a panel VAR approach. And after I will tell you the results of our methodology used. After that, we have made a change, Mustafa. We have yes, we have Okay, we have select 3 groups of theoretical background according to their aim of their papers. The first one is a group with that tell us the link or the relationship between energy consumption and economic growth. The second one is the relationship between economic activity and emissions. And the third one is combine of two first studies. That means that is a relationship between energy consumption, economic growth, and emissions. After the use of the change, after the use of the model, we have, as a conclusion, we have said that different studies use different models and different data periods. So this is the reason that we have make 3 groups of the literature review, and we have choose 14 countries. Not, as I said before, not all of developing countries in EU area, because some of them no data available. So we excluded them from our study. And the period is 16 years. Change, please. Mustafa, can change? Our contribution with this paper will we attempt to shed more light into the intricate and complex relationship of the energy growth, emissions. 3 of these. We built a very comprehensive data set of energy consumption, economic growth, and CO2 emissions for 14 countries and for 16 years. And we examined the dynamic links between our factors that we are studying in this paper. And the answers of these studies are shown in the table, and are some interesting relationship between the 3 variables. You can change. We say that economic growth. Can you change, Mustafa? Mustafa can change. Yes, I am continuing, but it will be better to see the paper. Economic growth could stimulate pollution. Yes, the economic growth might stimulate pollution. Trade of economic growth and environment pollution. Also, the multinationals companies are interesting to invest, especially in developing countries, because they find their pollution heaven, and nobody can say that how much they can pollute the ambient there. So they always looking for developing countries to invest their money. The third one is increase the using of FDIs. I can't see in the paper because this. But important is that as you much use FDIs from outside, as much the economic growth is higher, but in the other side, the pollution is higher also. In the next slide, are two tables with data. Change, please, Mustafa. With data from our model that we have used. And Mustafa, can change? Can change to the next one?
Okay. If you wanted to follow conclusion and recommendations, Flora, are you there?
Yes, I am here. I don't know.
Yes, the slide is conclusions. Yeah, go on, please.
The slides are not good. Yes, maybe I can go with only presenting. And from the model, we see that GDP growth rate positively influences the growth rate of energy consumption and CO2 emissions. We see from the table also that, can you hear me or not?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Also, we can see in the table that the increase in energy consumption leads to an increase in emissions and has a negative effect on the GDP growth potential. Also, an interesting result is that because growth in energy use appears to cause a decline in GDP growth, and this is related with competitive efficiency. Also, the results show there is no correlation between renewable energy and GDP growth. Okay. One previous, please. Also, CO2 emissions are reduced when renewable energy grows. In the second slide with the data, we estimated that we excluded renewable energy variable, and to see the robustness of the results of the first model that we have used in the previous slide. But the results suggest that investment in energy now, okay, the investment in energy efficiency has positive effect on pollution reduction, but public policies are needed to stimulate them. So needs that government to make good policies in order that to reduction as more as possible the pollution of the that is, of course, less pollution, more healthy is the population. The advantages of joining the EU are the also the incentives for energy saving and emission reduction policies. Our results also suggest that investing in energy efficiency is good for the competitiveness of economies in transition, because that leads in GDP growth, and also is good for the environment. Because of reduction of CO2 emissions. That's enough.
Thank you, Flora.
Some of my slides are missing, but no problem.
Thank you.
Important is that I think that important is that to see the relationship between economic growth, because in developing countries the governments want to develop the countries and don't care about the pollution and some other measures that influence negatively in the health of the population. So it's important to use the renewable energy for the better of the country. Okay.
Thank you for your valuable information from Flora. Sorry, I have a session after 25 minutes. Sorry. Dear Isma, are you ready?
Yes. Okay, let me share.
Dear Isma, please, your duration is max 5 minutes. Okay. Because
okay.
I have after 20 minutes.
All right, I will try to make it short.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to invite to dear Isma from Malaysia. Please go on, dear Isma, Prof. Isma. Okay.
Okay, hi everyone. I hope you can see the slide. All right. I'm Isma Rosila from the Language and Communication Department, Center for Fundamental and Continuing Education, University Malaysia Terengganu. And today I would like to share with you this is actually from my own experience, my journey in academia towards intercultural competency. Okay. All right, just a little bit a family photo, and actually this journey is a personal journey to nurture my intercultural competency within my teaching practice. And initially I realized that my own cultural biases and assumption could influence my interaction with students from different cultural background, as well as friends from all over the world. So I can say this is a narrative of the study which is close to my own experience. So to overcome this, I then put that into several themes, which I will narrate to you and also share about my effort and my approach and recommendation. All right. So to overcome, I deepen my understanding of cultural diversity and intercultural communication. I engage in a professional development workshop and courses that focus on cultural competence and inclusive teaching practices. So these opportunities actually provide a good insight into the experiences and perspective of students from diverse background, and which equip me with tools to create an good and inclusive, culturally sensitive learning environment during my teaching practices. So one of my experience is that when I went to Turkey last time, I met these two students. They are very confident, even though they're not really fluent in English, but they try to get engaged with me in conversation using quite a lot of Google Translate. This is where Google Translate helps you a lot, even though you do not know the language. We both actually communicate quite a lot through Google Translate, and these two students taking me out to the museum, which is nearby the hotel that I stay. So from this, I design a lesson to my student that incorporate diverse perspective, cultural examples, and collaborative activities. So this approach give a meaningful discussions and challenge stereotypes and encourage students in my class to appreciate the richness of different cultural perspective. And through this collaboration, I gain a deeper appreciation for the importance of embracing cultural diversity in the classroom. As you can see here, this is where I invite the international student from University Malaysia Terengganu to my class, and my student, the local student, interact with them, and from this they get a close contact, and rather than by readings from the case study, they can get into a real life experience. And this, of course, promotes intercultural awareness and encourage a student to engage in critical discussion that allow them to challenge their own assumption, understand different cultural views, and develop empathy for others. So this is my approach, where I actually let them do a discussion with the international students that I invite to the class, and this can actually provide them quite in-depth experience. And also I will ask the feedback from the student about their own experience. And through my journey as a lecturer, I have come to appreciate the transformative power of intercultural competency within academia, whether it is among the student or among the lecturer itself, which is reflect to my reflection when I travel a lot and meet quite a lot of person. So from there, I think I would recommend, whenever you have this kind of interaction with the student, come up with a survey, and also it will create an honest communication among you and your student. And so to conclude, this is just a photo just to show that this ongoing journey has reinforced my commitment to create a supportive and culturally sensitive academic environment, and that prepares students to navigate and globalized world. So thank you, everyone. I end this with said from Kofi Annan: we may have different religions, different languages, different colored skin, but we all belong to one human race. That's all from me, and thank you for your time. That's all.
Thank you again. Thank you again, dear Isma. Thank you for about valuable information and visiting. Thank you again. Okay, dear Nur, are you there and ready?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. Yes, I can hear.
How long?
Dear Nur.
How long?
Okay, dear Nur, I would like to invite to dear Nur from Malaysia. Okay.
Okay. Let me
Dear
share
Nur.
this. Right. Okay.
Yes, share please. And please don't forget about max duration is 5 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So I just thank you very much for this opportunity. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me to be one of the speaker and forum on this conference. So I would like to share part of my work. Okay. The impact of analysis of pandemic COVID-19 on air pollution by comparison between Turkey and Malaysia by using an artificial intelligence technique. So I have there many universities that joining this research. So basically, each of our country has already come up with the problem, faced the problem during the COVID-19 in 2020, whereby most of the impact of the COVID-19 we all have experience. So especially as in Turkey as well, and also in Malaysia. So this I'm not going to touch about this air quality standard much, but then I would like just want to highlight that the air quality standard now in the latest one, the WHO already reduced the level of air quality standard more stringent in 2021. Okay, so this about the COVID-19 in Turkey, in glance, in as long as in Malaysia as well. After March 16, all school were vacation, and the online study started in Turkey as well in Malaysia as well. And on the weekend, a curfew was introduced for all age group. Commercial touristic flight was cancelled. This is a very, very hectic situation. So this study, this work that what we are looking into is the to compare, you know, the impact of this COVID-19 between two countries. So we use the material that we use, what we call the MyMOS or the boosted regression tree. This is an artificial intelligence technique whereby the data, big data we compile is from the air pollution data from Konya city, from also from Antalya city, and also in Malaysia we have various cities that involved in this work. So this on the right hand side is a very big, like a very working system that we develop. Okay, we develop the system whereby this system can manage the any big data, not necessary for the air quality data, but also for the any big kind of data. It include the social sciences and other data. So this about the one that I will present here is very very scientific, whereby we are talking about the new novel method to speak about the air pollution. First, about the how to report the air pollution. First, in relative importance of predictor variable. Yeah, we want to show which variable influence most in the area. Second, we are going to say that theory of a partial dependence plot. Okay, partial dependent plot is another way how we can explain the air pollution, not only on concentration. Yeah, not only on concentration, not only on certain very basic, but this is like a very advanced technique or technology that we introduce by using artificial intelligence. And the third one, variable interaction. You know, in the atmosphere, there are many variables. You know, air pollution, we have particles, we have gases, we have humidity, we have other meteorological parameters, whereby all these, you know, interaction each other. Okay, so using our technique, we are able to indicate the interaction index between the variables. We want to know which variable that influence most, which variable that interact each other. So advantage of H index, we are not going to see much on that. So let's go straight to the case study. The first case study in Konya city. This is still undergoing. So this we got the data from the Konya partner from Professor Dusun, and also we have Fatma. And these are the summary of descriptive pollution in 2020. Yeah, from Incohis station in Konya. We have this data. So these are also some of the plot, particulate matter. We can see the trend, okay, the trend of the pollutants during the sampling time. As we can see here, also this is about the nitrogen oxide trend. You see the trend between all the stations. This plot we use open source R software, R package open source that can able to integrate, pull the data and then do some simulation of the data. Okay. It's also some sulfur dioxide trend. We can see in Konya city. We can see some of the area. Seljuk is most in the city of Konya. There are some of the data exceeded the EU standard of air quality. Yes, some of the data are exceeded the air quality standard by the EU standard. But for the CO, not that much. Okay, it's quite good. But for ozone also, especially I think this during summer. During summer, we can see the ozone level are quite high during summer, right? And second location that in progress is the Antalya. Okay, Antalya is whereby it's a fifth most populous city in Turkey. It's located here. I'm not yet have been there. I only managed to went to Konya somewhere here. All right. So located in Antalya southwest coast, bordered by the Taurus mountain. Yeah. Antalya is the largest Turkish city on the Mediterranean coast outside. Okay. So we already managed to gather the data from Antalya. We have many stations, but the only data that available that good is only in the city of Antalya. So we gather the data and we do the artificial intelligence technique that I mentioned. Okay, so we found that when we do the iteration, we do the simulation, we found that the most influencing variable for the particulate matter concentration is sulfur dioxide. So in Antalya, so sulfur dioxide means have a nearly 30%, I can say 30% influence the PM2.5 concentration, followed by temperature and also ozone. Ozone also play a very important role on the concentration of PM2.5 in Antalya. And also we look into the interaction. This is another outcome that very important I would like to raise today. We can see that in 2020, the nitrogen oxide and also ozone have a very high interaction to produce the PM2.5 with 0.44 or 44%. This will be very high. Then followed by you have also NO2 and SO2 also very important role. So looking into this matter, how can this sign? From sign we want to advise the government. I would like to say that with this, we can say that the government should focus on these two NO2 and SO2 as one or two of the most parameter that influence to the particulate matter formation, whereby the temperature, humidity, the meteorological is like very difficult to control because it's like a nature of the day. So another thing that is another way how we, yes, just a few, a strength of interaction is something that also the way how the latest technique that we can show to the world about the how the interaction are going on in the atmosphere. So it's something interesting. Maybe in the next session or in the future, if I have an opportunity, I can again go to Turkey and we have a further very more.
Dear Nur,
Okay.
please follow the conclusion. Okay.
Yeah, but finally, we can see that for Turkey, for example, comparing between 2019-2020 data, we identified that most of the gases decreased with the NO2. The decrement, very significant decrement because of the MCO, because not made the school off and the university also cut down and everything. Almost every country reduced the air pollution level. So in the further analysis, we are going to, customize all these data, and also we will produce a better, result to show more detail about what is going on during the COVID-19 and what is now. Okay, finally, we would like to invite you to Malaysia. We have we will organize the air quality management for ASEAN and IUPA regional conference. This save your date, and at the bottom there's a website there. You can have a look, and then feel free to discuss with you if any of you would like to come to Malaysia to have a presentation on sharing whatever your work related to climate change. Yeah, we in this conference focusing on air quality and climate change. I think thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you again. Thank you for valuable information. Thank you, dear Nur. Okay. Yeah. Are you there in Ahmed? Please close your share, dear Nur.
Yes.
Dear Ahmed.
Yes.
Are you there?
I'm there. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, dear Ahmed. Your order is in less. Sorry. Okay.
When start sharing?
No,
okay.
No issue.
Okay.
Already stopped? Am I already stopped sharing?
Please close share. Yes. Please close share button. Okay. Dear Ahmed.
Yes. So
presentation
shall I start now?
Is yours. Okay.
Okay.
Don't forget about 5 minutes. Understand?
Yeah. I'll keep to 5 plus 1 minute. 1 minute.
Thank you.
Give me, please.
Thank
yes.
you very much. Go on, please.
So
I would like to invite to dear Ahmed from India. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Mustafa, for inviting me. Without any words of introduction or anything, I'm from University of Mumbai, working in Department of Life Sciences. So my topic will be slightly different from what others have presented here. So I'll be talking about glucose toxicity, what are the consequences and characterization in very brief. So we all know that hyperglycemia is because of the increased concentration of glucose in the blood, and that leads to oxidative stress, and the process which is involved in this toxicity of glucose is known as glycation. When there is a high concentration of glucose in the blood reacts with the proteins and modifies them. So these are the various processes by which proteins are modified by reducing nature of glucose. And one of the most important and direct consequence of glucose modification on the protein is glycation, which is a simple, spontaneous, non-enzymatic carbonyl amino groups reaction. It's a covalent reaction between sugars and long-lived proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. An irreversible process which happens continuously even in the body, even at the normoglycemic level. However, when the glucose concentration is high for longer time, this leads to generation of a group of products which are called as advanced glycation products, and when they accumulate in the body, they cause various, or they are involved in various types of diseases. So this, you can see the scheme. where glucose and different body proteins, especially which stay for longer duration in the body, they interact and lead to the generation of glycation products. And one of the very common one which we are aware is HbA1c. Many people who suffer from diabetes, they are advised by the doctors to go for the measurement of HbA1c, which is also glycated hemoglobin. So the normal level is below 6%, and if it exceeds above 6%, it gives an indication that the person has been hyperglycemic for more than 3 months, because the half-life of or the shelf life of hemoglobin is more than 3 months. So it's a very good marker. In this slide, briefly, you can see that to get an idea about the several R's of blood glucose, the blood glucose is level measured, then glycated albumin is measured, and the more detailed information or long-term information is obtained for a diabetic history or hyperglycemic history of a patient by using measuring glycated hemoglobin. So these are this slide summarizes what are the disease conditions where glycation products are involved. You can see aging, diabetes mellitus, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cataracts, retinopathy, and the biomolecular or the molecular level by which this glycation causes the damage to the cells is it mostly at the level of proteins, precipitation of proteins, cross linking of proteins, aggregation of proteins, generation of free radicals, and strand breakage of DNA. Body has intrinsic mechanism to control these glycation products, like some enzymes, some protein degradation systems, and some receptors are there. But in addition to that, scientists are looking for molecules which can prevent the formation of this. And one of the unfortunately only one drug which has been approved for as anti-glycating agent is aminoguanidine, which has its own side effects. These are some suggestions that why how can we avoid, should we avoid. So I'll not just reduce your consumption of sugar, eat vegetables and fruits raw, boiled, drink water, stop smoking, and supplement with redoxamine, a form of vitamin 6, and so on. So the measurement of ages can be done by instrumental methods and immunochemical methods. Some are spectroscopic methods and spectropolarimetric methods, HPLC, GCMS, LCMS, and UHPLC can be used. Immunological methods like ELISA and Western blotting can be used to measure the. So this you can see that these are the spectroscopic methods, biochemical methods like NBT, which can be done routinely in the lab. These are some analytical techniques, as I mentioned, and each of them have their own specificity and limitations. So a detailed what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and what samples can be used for the measurement of this. So this slide shows all the details of this. In our study, I'll just in 2-3 slides I'll mention about the ascorbic acid or vitamin C. You can see the structure. It's a well-known antioxidant, and we have evaluated its anti-glycating role using some of the methods mentioned here. You can see that there is an interaction between the VSA and the protein glucose and the ascorbic acid and glucose VSA, which shows that this can be used as a drug. Here we are showing that there is a significant reduction in the early stages of glycation by ascorbic acid by more than 35%. Then in the late stage, the reduction is by more than 20%. And fluorimetric measurement we have done, that is also indicates that ascorbic acid reduces the production of advanced glycation products by more than almost 25% in the glucose mediated glycation system. And glucose also leads to aggregation of proteins. You can see that this red bar indicates the aggregation of the protein level, and the last bar indicates that there is a suppression of this by more than 75% of the aggregation of the proteins. So coming to conclusion, we have characterized some of the things I have not shown here. The interaction between ascorbic acid and VSA is van der Waals interaction and hydrogen bonds involved interaction. It's a stable interaction, and decrease of fructosamine content, carbonyl content, and total ages indicates the potential anti-glycating properties. reduced aggregation of the beta amyloid structure by ascorbic acid also indicates that ascorbic acid can be used for the suppression of glucose toxicity via glycation and aggregation. So finally, coming to conclusion that it can be concluded that ascorbic acid can be a potential glucose toxicity suppression agent and a better therapeutic agent. These works have been contributed by my PhD students, and we have collaborators from national and international labs, and funding is also acknowledged. Thank you for your patient listening. So,
thank you for your good and valuable information from dear Prof. Ahmed from India. My distinguished speakers and my colleagues, thank you again. It has been great for the great pleasure for me to see you again. Thank you all. Thank you all this. Thank you very much. I wish let's meet in face-to-face next Congress. Okay, thank you.
thank you, Dr.
Bye.
Mustafa, for giving us opportunity.
Okay.
It's been
Thank you.
Inshallah.
yes,
Thank you.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Prof. See you
Okay.
again.
yes.
See you
Bye,
again.
Flora
Thank
and
you.
Shuan.
Bye.
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 So thank you, Dr. Ludmila. It's nice meeting